All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers. We're well into free agency. We're really close. We're less than 3 weeks away from the start of the NFL draft, where, by the way, the Green Bay Packers have 11 whopping draft picks. Expect some trades. We're going to talk about that at the end of the video. But this 9-8 Green Bay Packers team, don't let that record fool you. Obviously, if you know the context of it, they started 3-6. It was very shaky. A lot of uncertainty around the Green Bay Packers as a whole. They rattle off an exquisite second half season, including Thanksgiving on the road against the Detroit Lions, followed up by a primetime matchup taking down the Kansas City Chiefs, and they end up getting into the playoffs. Folks, I was just watching that Cowboys-Packers game. Unbelievable. The Green Bay Packers, folks, here's the thing. The Packers on paper, very good. Josh Jacobs just got picked up. Xavier McKinney just got picked up. They're really good. And I know, that sounds obvious. The way Jordan Love played in the final 2 months of the season, postseason included, the sky truly is the limit. I was going back, I was watching the film, I was watching some of these games. The throws and plays Jordan Love himself was making were unbelievable. And then we factor in, obviously, Matt LaFleur. We factor in all the weapons on the offense, the youngest offense in the NFL to make the playoffs since the 1970 Bills. This is one of the youngest teams it was the youngest team in the entire NFL. They're the future's that bright. And the Packers, in regards to the draft, it's not like we have a ton of holes. It's not like we have a ton of flaws. Certainly need some help in the secondary, the offensive line, the interior offensive line, could use a safety. There are things the Packers could use, but with 11 freaking picks and the way that season ended last year and just watching that Cowboys game especially, it's unbelievable. The Packers, I'm a biased Packers fan. I really genuinely think we are undisputedly a top 10 team in the National Football League. And if Jordan Love gets better than he was last year, it's over. It's wrap. So tonight we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers, obviously, but we're going to focus mainly on the draft here and the end of free agency. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. As you can tell, I'm a diehard Green Bay Packers fan, so we post a ton of Packers videos on this channel. So if you try and get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So, once again, Green Bay's got the first round pick number 25, and then they've got 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a fourth, a fifth, a couple of sixths, and a couple of sevenths. You're 100% going to see some trade ups. In fact, the Packers have traded up or into the first round 5 times in this century. However, 3 of those were executed by our GM, Brian Gutekunst. The Packers traded up in 2018, 2019, and 2020. They selected Jaire Alexander, Darnell Savage, and Jordan Love. We also traded into the first round in 2009 to select Clay Matthews at pick 26. But every mock draft I read, and rightfully so, because the Packers certainly need some help on the offensive line. Kind of depends on what you think of left tackle Rasheed Walker. I actually think Rasheed will be just fine. I think he's going to be the starting left tackle next season. However, the draft can certainly change that. And a lot of Packers fans are very mixed on Rasheed Walker in general. But I think the way he ended last season in the second half I think he did a great job. But we do need offensive line depth in general, especially, lost left guard. Here's the thing. The Packers have not selected an offensive lineman since 2011. Bakhtiari, Sitton, Lindsley, Lang, Tom, all of these guys have actually come on day 3. So I don't think the Packers are going to take a tackle or any guard or any offensive lineman in general in the first round. What I actually think is very likely is them trading up. I saw a mock, Seattle pick number 16. I saw a mock where they trade up for pick number 16. I think Green Bay is going to make a trade in the first round, mid-first round, to select a defensive back. And the reason is, Jaire Alexander. In your nickel, you've got Sean Nixon. And then on the other cornerback position, you got Eric Stokes. I'm stoked about Eric Stokes being back and healthy. The issue is he's been in the NFL for 3 seasons, and the only season where he has played in over 9 games was his rookie season 3 years ago. And we drafted him in the first round 3 years ago, and the dude's a stud when he's healthy. But I don't feel great about relying on his health because a little bit deeper, his backup, Carrington Valentine, the sophomore slump. It's a very real thing. So I think they're going to trade up and select a defensive back. Now, the safety is also a position that's very interesting because you've got Xavier McKinney that you picked up from the New York Giants, and the dude's a playmaking threat. He's going to pick off balls. He's going to bat down balls. He's going to do a little bit of everything. We talked about in our last Packers video why that's going to really unlock the defensive line and give an great opportunity for our linebackers and our new defense coordinator to blitz more and to be more aggressive, which is what Devontae Campbell wanted Matt LaFleur. He had to have a private meeting with Matt LaFleur to say, dude, we got to be more aggressive on defense. So Joe Barry, out of the house, it's now Halfley, right? So even just having this crazy free safety or the safety in general and Xavier McKinney, when he's healthy, he's an absolute dog. He's very young. They signed him to a big contract, something we haven't really seen from the Packers in day one of free agency, what feels like in almost my entire life. And Packers fans are a little bit split on the safety position. So Gutekunst spoke about his desire to place a young guy next to free agent signee Xavier McKinney at safety when talking at the league owners meetings in Orlando. Now, what I think is going to happen, and there's a guy named Justin Simmons out there still. The Packers are an ideal fit for him. He would bring veteran leadership. You team him up with Xavier. I think it would be one of the best sneaky, underrated safety groups in the NFL. And Simmons, a two-time All-Pro. He's only 30 years old. He's still in his athletic prime. I think pairing up McKinney and Simmons would be lights out. And then what I would do is I would select a safety in the second or third round. But they could trade up and select a safety. So my point is, folks, Green Bay's future next season it's all up to Jordan Love just continuing to do what he did and improving. But Green Bay doesn't take offensive linemen in the first round. And with the way Jordan Love looked, once again, we all know if you guys watch the playoffs or if you watch the season last year, 9-8 is not indicative of what the Packers look like right now. They're going to make a move, or whoever they draft in the first round, no matter what selection it is, even if they stand pat at pick number, 29 right now, they are still in need, or what they still want is a guy who's going to come in day one and help your team succeed. So that's why I think Green Bay is going to make a trade up for a defensive back. You could have Kool-Aid McKinstry still available at pick number 29, but I do think they will make a trade in the first round. And obviously having 11 total draft picks, they're going to make a bunch of moves probably regardless. So I'm curious where my Packers fans stand on our first round, specifically selection, the draft in general, and the overall state of the Green Bay Packers. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your night. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. But guys, let me know, who are you selecting or what are you doing in the first round of the NFL draft? Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.